guys, welcome back to my channel. This video has been requested for years and I thought that I would wait to do it until I could really give you like my full experience. So this is my birth control experience, basically what I've been using for the last 5 years. So just a little bit of background. I got pregnant and I had my daughter in November of 2010, and I was not aware that right after you have a child, you are actually like super duper fertile, and my doctor didn't tell me. And so when I went in at 5 weeks, actually, I went in for a checkup and she was like, you're good, you know, you've healed up nicely, which, ow, dude, that first giant head coming out, good God, it was so painful and it just tore me up. But she was like, you're good, you can have sex. Like, so they gave us the green light to have sex. So my boyfriend and I, we did have sex at 5 weeks post, you know, delivery, and I got pregnant that time, right there. That was the one, because we had sex and it was so painful, and it was, you know, like he finished, okay? But it was so painful that we didn't have sex for weeks after that because I just wasn't ready. Like, it just hurt so bad. But didn't matter, because like a month later, I was like, yo, I'm feeling pregnant. And then everyone's like, oh, you're probably pregnant again. And I was like, I'm not pregnant again. I got a 1-month-old baby. Well, I had a 2-month-old baby. I was like, I'm not pregnant. No. Like, no one's gonna play that joke on me. I'm not pregnant. Took a pregnancy test, was super duper pregnant. So I did get pregnant 5 weeks after having my first child. So it's very possible, and I would not necessarily recommend it. Now, I wouldn't go back and do anything different because my son was actually born right before, now I pushed him out, right before the cutoff for school, which is September 1st. So he was born August 28th of 2011, which means they're in the same grade, which for me, especially being a single mom, which I didn't necessarily anticipate back then, although one could have certainly seen that happening in the future based on my relationship, but it's a lot easier having the two kids in the same like little age bracket. They are the same age for about 3 months. So my son's about to turn 5 next month, and my daughter won't turn 6 until November. So anyway, they are very close together. It has been very like beneficial for us. But as soon as I had my son, I mean, we were broke. Like, we could barely afford the one baby, let alone a whole second baby. I mean, I was like 6 months pregnant with a baby, and on top of the 6-month pregnant belly, I had a 7-month-old baby. You know what I'm saying? Like, he would kick while he was in the womb, and she would feel it because she was still this little tiny baby that wanted nothing but to lay on me all day long. So it was really difficult, and I guess if you guys ever wanted to see like my pregnancy stories or anything like that, let me know down in the comments and I will try to put something together. They are kind of lengthy, so maybe if you have specific questions, let me know. But as soon as Jaden was born, who's my son, when I went in for my checkup, my 6-week checkup, which we actually did around 5 weeks, I was like, you know what? I don't want another baby. We can't afford another baby. I'm not trying to have another baby. Me and this dude, we don't even get along that well. Like, me and the kid's dad, I mean, we were having problems at that point. You put 2 babies onto a relatively, you know, new relationship. We'd only been together for a couple years. And, you know, things are gonna get hectic. We were young, we were broke, and we didn't need another kid. So I decided to get the Mirena. Now, I know there's a lot of different information online, so if you just want the straight up, you know, medical, I don't know, the actual Mirena website and stuff has to say, then look that stuff up. I'm just gonna tell you guys based on my experience and what my doctors told me. So, I decided to get the Mirena, which is an IUD, which is an intrauterine device, and it basically goes up into your cervix. And honestly, I don't even know exactly how the whole thing works, but it releases some hormones and that prevents you from being able to get pregnant. I got it put in right after I had Jay, and it didn't hurt me. I know I've had some people say that other people that have gotten Mirena, they said that it really hurt, but for me, I mean, I had just had 2 kids and I had been through the ringer, so them implanting a little like IUD, good God, that was so loud, let me turn that off. Them doing that did not hurt, basically. it was pretty much like just getting a pap smear. I mean, it's a little uncomfortable, you know, like when they like crank you open and then they put the big Q-tip thing in there. Like, it was basically like that, except they inserted something. So it didn't really hurt me. And I didn't notice anything crazy right after I got it. I mean, it was just so great to know that like I went home that day and I was officially off the baby making market. So that was great. It's something I didn't have to think about. And with having 2 small children already, taking the pill was just not something that I wasn't gonna chance it, because you can forget about the pill. I mean, I have a different pill that I take every single day of my life, and I will take it until the day I die probably, and I forget to take that pill all the time. Now, if that pill had been the pill preventing me from having a baby, I can't tell you how many babies I would probably have. Well, probably not that many, because I don't really have sex like that. But it was just something that I chose to do because it gave me peace of mind. So I didn't love the idea that I'd be having like added hormones in my body, and but I mean, having come off of like 2 pregnancies, I was ready for my body to be my body and to not share it with the baby, because like I had those back-to-back pregnancies and I was young. I was like 21, and it was tough, man. It was tough. It was tough being a new mom. It was tough being a new mom who's also pregnant. It was tough being like a new mom to 2 little tiny babies, and then like their dad was always working and I was always like alone with them and stuff, and it was just so tough. The last thing I wanted was to have another kid. So I got it implanted in September of 2011, and I had it removed in May of 2016. So I didn't go the full 5 years, which you can do a full 5 years. And I'll tell you why in a second, but my insurance covered it. So it was just a regular, I mean, it was just a regular visit for me. It was nothing extra. It was like my normal, you know, $20 copay or whatever. And I had it inserted, and I didn't want to do shots, and I didn't want to do anything like implanted anywhere else. I guess the Mirena just seemed easiest, and it seemed like it was going to be effective, and it's what my doctor suggested I should get. So that's what I got. I know there are different IUDs out on the market. So I guess just really ask your doctor which one they would suggest. That's kind of how I based my choice. It was really based off of what she had to suggest and my nurse practitioner. So I have a gynecologist that I love. I love her. She's amazing. She's great. I feel really comfortable with her, and she's also very busy. So there's a nurse practitioner that I also see quite often. So if my gynecologist is not going to be available for 4 months or something, and I really want to get something done or checked out or whatever, then I go to the nurse practitioner, and I really like her too. So it was, you know, there's general consensus that I should use the Mirena. So with the Mirena, with my doctor at least, she leaves the little strings kind of like long. So I'll say this, okay, and she does that so that you can check. So you can insert your fingers into your vagina, and you can make sure that the strings are where they're supposed to be. And they do move up and down a little bit, kind of depending on your positioning and whatnot. And they kind of feel like fishing wire. So it's not string, it's not like thread. It's a little bit stiffer than that. So it kind of feels like fishing wire, and there's 2 little strings. And so she cuts hers and she leaves them long, so that it's easy for me personally while I'm at home or whatever to make sure that it's there and that nothing has shifted as far as I can tell, you know, from inserting my fingers. So she does leave them a little bit long. I never had a complaint. I had sex obviously after I had it implanted. I mean, we still had intercourse after that up until the ending of our relationship. And he never complained about it or anything. He never said he could feel it. You know, so it didn't affect our sex in any way, except for the fact that we didn't have to worry about having a baby, which was great. And we didn't have to worry about, you know, using condoms because, well, we were supposed to be in a monogamous relationship, but that's a whole different story. Who cares? So I don't want to get into all of that. But it's not going to prevent any kind of STDs or anything like that. So if you, you know, if that's something that you are concerned about, which we should be. So if you're not in a, you know, a trusting monogamous relationship, then you still need to use some kind of protection to protect against the transfer of STDs. So it is purely just a birth control. And okay, another question that a lot of people ask about it is, did you gain weight? Like, you know what? I gained weight, I lost weight, I gained weight, I lost weight, I had a kid, I lost the weight eventually from the kid. So I mean, I got it implanted 5-6 weeks after I had Jay, and I had lost probably like 20-30 pounds, and then I probably lost another 30 pounds after that. So I can't say that it made me gain weight. I will say that towards the end, I noticed I was a little more I guess bloated. I just felt round. And after I had it removed in May of this year, I felt like I flattened a little bit. So I just don't feel quite as round. I don't know that it was necessarily that, or the fact that I got back on my thyroid medication. I'm not sure what it was, but I mean, so I can't exactly attribute it to the Mirena. But what else? Oh, I did have a partner who definitely felt it. Like, it would poke him. Like, I felt like it was my body's defense mechanism. And it was like, no, you can't go there. But it definitely affected me and one particular person when we had sex. So I can't say that no one's ever gonna feel it. And I can't say that it's not just because my doctor leaves the string so long. And like I said, they're very much like fishing wire. So it never poked me, but with someone inserting, you know, their penis into my vagina, there's a chance that, you know, plus this man went all the way in, okay? So like, there's a reason that he was hitting that and it hurt a little bit. I have not had intercourse since removing the Mirena, but I wanted to talk about periods now, all of our favorite thing. I just got mine yesterday. Yay! Anyway, I had a period still after I got the Mirena inserted, probably for about a year maybe. They did lighten, they shortened, and then they eventually just completely went away. So I would spot here and there, not just at one time during the month, but I would spot like a couple of times during the month. So I just got used to wearing panty liners. And frankly, I mean, I like wearing panty liners anyway because like, you know, your vagina is doing a lot of things and it's natural to, you know what, just wear panty liners. That's all I'm gonna say. Like, it's just so easy to just put a panty liner on. So I got really used to doing that because I would spot here and there and I didn't want to end up with blood, you know, in my underwear. So, yeah, so after I had the Mirena removed, oh, I will say, when I was probably like supposed to get my period, I would still experience some of the symptoms. So I would still get cramping in my stomach. I would still be a little hyper emotional and I would still sort of feel like I was getting my period, but no actual like blood would happen. So like I said, just a little bit of spotting here and there. So that was actually positive. I love not having my period. I didn't have to plan around it. I was like, whatever, no period, yay. I did tend to bleed a little bit more often though when I would have intercourse though, so. What was I about to say though? Oh, so my period coming back. So I had the Mirena removed on, I think, on a Wednesday, and that Friday we were like on a field trip. We were on a field trip with the kids, and it was like, hey girl, hey! And I was like, oh no! And I went, and I like went up to my sister-in-law and I was like, girl, do you have a tampon or something? And she's like digging around the bottom of her, diaper bag and she gives me one and she's like, I think I have one down here, you know? So she gives me one. Mind you, it has been years. It's been like 5 years since I used a tampon, and I go to the bathroom and there's 2 stalls in this bathroom, okay? 2 little tiny stalls and it's a little bit dark, and I go in there and I go to like open it and the whole thing breaks apart and like the applicator's one place and the actual tampon's somewhere else, and I was like, oh my god. And then of course my friend's like, well, why didn't you just pretend like somebody else had dropped it? I'm like, cause there's 2 stalls, okay? There was someone in the other one. They knew where the tampon came from cause it wasn't from them. So I'm like picking stuff up, trying to clean things off, and then I was like, you know what, I give up. Like, it just didn't happen. It didn't work for me. But yeah, getting your period for the first time, like after years and years and years. So like as a 27-year-old woman, I could not get my life together. Like, I couldn't take care of myself that day. I ended up going to Target and I picked up a whole bunch of like pads and my favorite tampons, which are the U by Kotex ones. They're so smooth, like the applicator has like a little rubber grip on it, like that's what's up. And I got a bunch of just like everything that I would need. But my period came back that Friday, and then I busted out my phone, downloaded a period tracker, and it came back about 26 days later, and now I am back on a 28-day cycle. So it's like right on the money. My periods came back right, like perfectly how they used to be basically, so I can track them. It makes it really easy, you know, I know when I'm ovulating. So currently I have no birth control, and I would say basically my method of birth control right now is abstaining from having sex. I don't have I'm not like in a relationship. I don't have a boyfriend right now. And I'm not real promiscuous when it comes to that kind of thing. I'm not down really with like just having sex. So I I plan to continue to abstain from having sex, and that's gonna be my birth control method of choice probably for a while. Just because that's kind of a lifestyle choice that I'm gonna make for now, and I want to see how that goes and see if that works for me, and maybe that produces different results than what my previous choices have been producing for me. So yeah, I think that's it. So I had it removed. Oh, the reason I had it removed a little bit earlier than the 5 years is because I had missed my 1 year checkup. So I would go every single year to have my Mirena checked out. And I would get a pap smear every single year. Now, a lot of you are like, well, you don't have to get a pap smear every year. You can do it every 3 years. And my doctor said every 5 years or every 2 years or whatever. My doctor said go every yeyear. There's a history of cervical and like uterine problems in my family. So I go every single year. Plus, I like to get checked for STDs. I like to do the full testing. Anytime that I have a new partner, I like to have all of the tests done. And even if I don't have a new partner, like 2015 was a sex-free year for me. I did not have sex with anyone. I did not do anything with anyone. It was very liberating. There were like no hurt feelings the whole year. This year, I'm like going through it, okay? Like I have all the feelings in the world, and now I got my period back, and this bitch together. No, I'm not loving it. But so I will say that it has been a yearly thing for me, and so I have gone every single year, and I missed last year. So I normally go in the fall, and I missed going in the fall. So I went in May, which was like 6 months late, and they took it out, and then they did a test. They did my pap smear, and they found that there was like, they basically found something that they thought might be slightly abnormal. So they, you know, asked if I had symptoms. I wasn't. I was completely asymptomatic. So we went and we did another pap smear, and I just got the results the other day. Everything is on the up and up. So I think what happens, what my doctor said is sometimes when you have like a foreign object basically inside of your body, like an IUD, your body can kind of try to attack it, and you know, it doesn't know what's what, and it doesn't want it inside of your body. So I guess it can create like some kind of bacteria, and then a lot of times the bacteria will leave with the device, which is what ended up happening for me. And sometimes it doesn't. So if it doesn't, that can cause problems. And I mean, of course, Mirena and every other kind of birth control and every other kind of drug is going to have its fair share of side effects. I really did not experience anything negative, so that's my story. I'm trying to cover everything, and if you have any questions, just leave them down below. So I had it for about 5 years. It was covered by my insurance. It completely protected me from having any sort of child. That was great. And I really didn't experience any side effects. My period came back just like normal. So, you know, I have no idea if I'm just as fertile as I was before, but I mean, I don't see why I wouldn't be, because, you know, like my periods came back normally, and it's really like it never even happened at this point. And I don't really feel any different, and when I had it in, I didn't necessarily feel any different. Like I said, most partners, well, I can't even say most partners, it was really like 2 guys. So one of them couldn't really tell the difference and couldn't really feel anything, and the other one was like in my brains, basically. So, I think that's it. If you guys have any more questions, leave them down below. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and that's all I have to say. So I will see you guys in my next one. Bye!